Championship 2. We are starting out here on Arctic Circle. It is Winchester for SalzZ, playing as the Japanese. I really don't like these colors. I feel bad. I always switch Winchester, but purple's just such an awkward color against a lot of other colors. And Max is playing as the Malians. All right. They did change up the Arctic Circle. They updated it so that you are no longer landlocked on any side. So there is a full path around the outside now, water-wise. Very close start, also. Normally, if Winchester is here, Max would be over here, but we're very close to one another. Probably favors Malians, I guess, but I don't know. These are two interesting civs. If Japanese just go CA, it feels like a tough composition for the Malians to deal with early on, right? Also interesting to note, Max, I think, is currently pushing in Winchester's deer, maybe. Maybe not. I guess this is neutral. Or maybe it is Max's. He's got more deer on the other side, but I suppose these deer are equivalent to these. Very central spawning, though. Either player should know where the other is just yet. So the first decision you have to make on this map is whether you want to dock on the inside or the outside. Looks like Vinch is going to the outside. Kind of prefer the inside, to be honest. I feel like there's more fish here to take advantage of. Or at least you don't need to redock as often. It's like out here, we're going through maybe 3 deep fish, and then we're kind of stuck on shore fish. I guess it's the same here, but I don't know. It just feels like there's more here. Max going for a super far away dock. It is on the corner, which is kind of nice. So there's quite a bit of fish here in the corner for Max to take advantage of. Also, really good actual dock positioning. You can walk across this whole terrain. So it's usually a good idea to send 2 or 3 at least villagers out here to fish from the shore fish, and we've got 3 really close to this dock. That's really nice. Whereas here you can see there's like, I guess there are a decent amount of shore fish, just these deep fish are so far away. Alright, so are we just going to play this straight up as the Max? Max has not consistently played 1v1s in many years now. So he's got to make this choice, right? Probably does, though, as the Malians. They aren't really known for any super weird rushes and whatnot. For now, everyone's just kind of booming up. Vinch went for a very early loom. I didn't notice that, if he was housed or what. That was a very, very early loom. So Max is technically a villager ahead right now, but Winchester is springing for extra fishing ships. Loom coming in, and Max is going to click up behind it. Vinch might... And no, he's probably trying to click up here. All right, so we've got identical feudal age timings. Vinch even unqueued one fishing ship that was coming out. Interesting. Once you start getting up into the like 5 fishing ship range, you're starting to look at a fast castle timing. So he had the 4th one queued and took it away. Going to be a man-at-arms rush, I suppose, here from Max. Which is usually not the play against the Japanese, because they can just match with their better infantry, which is exactly what Winchester looks to be doing here. But maybe it'll work out. Especially against Vinch, right? Vinchester is like the Drush / Men-at-Arms guy. I think he does it more often than any other pro right now. Oh, but he's heading out the wrong way. He doesn't know where Max is. Like I said, we're very close together here. Max usually would be up here somewhere. So Vinch is going to be taking quite the detour. Max has been able to guess where his opponent is. He scouted up here. He knows he's not up here. Could have still been up here, I suppose, but he's guessed correctly. Drush comes in. We're looking for some quick walls. They don't come in, but we're pretty close to the TC here. Taking some stray shots. Vinchester's army is up in no man's land. Tom Cruise, welcome in. How's it going today? Trying for some quick walls. It's not the prettiest defense in the world for Vinch. He's going to lose a villager here to the scout as well. But he does almost kill the scout. He has technically trapped in these men-at-arms. He can start wailing away at some buildings, though. Oh, this Drush from Vinch, man. He's like, where is this guy? Alright, he's going to head down in the right direction now, finally, but a 12-13 minute Drush timing is not what you want to see. Not bad, enjoying vacation? Awesome. That's what I like to hear. Well, more has arrived here from Max, so that's going to be another dead villager. He might be able to punch down the scout at least, but will not be able to outrun... Okay, well, even if he didn't get caught on that tree, he was not going to be able to outrun this army. This is really good pressure from Max. Vinch has located Max, but there's not really any damage to be done. We've got fire galleys coming out for both players, or at least one from each player, I should say. House goes down. Men-at-Arms say fine. Since we're here, we'll take out the barracks too. Why not? Okay, maybe they'll move on. I'm just gonna have to try to continue walling up over here, but how in the world do you wall? I guess you have to try and pull this off between the houses here, but I don't think we're gonna make it. Okay, we're repairing on the backsides here. Maybe this Drush will find some value. The land military is distracting the navy, while Vinch's fire galley is getting in some damage on the fishing ships. It's not perfect at the end of this engagement, though. Archer's coming out for Vinch now. And should be able to defend against this. Worth noting, he did not invest in the men-at-arms upgrade, whereas Max did, so that's a bit more investment for the Finn. But these two militia really have not done the work. Alright, forward pressure is cleared up finally. But 3-0, Eco KD in Max's favor right now is really nice. A little bit more idle TC time eliminates some of that, but not bad at all. Still an archer being annoying, and actually this is going to be another dead villager for Vinch, unable to deal with that archer quite in the nick of time. And woodlines are still being harassed on the back. I mean, this basically is just playing out like Nomad for Max, which is really good for him, right? Max is plenty well versed in trying to fight water on the outside of the map while also pressuring on the inside. So even though this is not a Nomad start, it is kind of similar in a lot of ways. Is maybe why we saw Max here. Max has the numbers advantage here with the archers. Demos coming in for Vinch on the outside, should be able to swing these fights in his favor, though. Max is taking the long way around with some of his navy. Archers arrive now for Vinch in Max's base. That's going to be a dead villager. Maybe two if Max does not notice this in time. Vinch's eco is messy, I won't lie. It's not the prettiest eco in the world, but it's, I mean, he kind of lamed his own wood line here with these houses earlier. And the gold's pretty ugly, even though we did do double mining camp to help that out a bit. Vinch is, I think, winning water right now. These two archers are still inside Max's base, causing way more issues than they really should. Can we not send anything back? Okay, skirmishers are now coming out for Max. Castle H is also coming in for Max. Wait a minute. Vinch is nowhere close to clicking up. Max is on the way. Max is also docked in the middle. Interesting. Militia still finding value somehow. Fire Galley has made the long trip around the map and has shown up at the back of Vinch's fishing eco. These are Japanese fishing ships, so they take forever to go down from Fire Galleys, but looks like this could be one dead, unless Vinch starts repairing. It's a pretty good defense from Max. 2 to 4 eco KD right now, still in Max's favor. He's getting cavalry armor upgrades, so probably wants knights in the next stage. He's only dropping his first stable right now, though, which seems a little bit late. It's tough when you're going navy as well, though. It's a lot of wood you're sucking up into navy when you're trying to get production buildings down at the same time. Yeah, you can make the second stable now. It's going to be a little bit late, but not really a big deal. Castle Age comes in. Suddenly Vinch is like, uh-oh. So we're probably going to see Vinch absolutely destroy this market as soon as it goes up. He's floating a lot of gold, but he needs to click up to the Castle Age ASAP. Knights are on their way out. They have the first armor in already. Max could potentially swing the second armor soon-ish. But he has lost all of his fishing eco, which is a little unfortunate. Vinch has even added in a 4th fishing ship now. 2 more as well on the way. So Vinch seems pretty confident that he's won water here. Ooh, loses that knight. Max does as well. And the last wall segment does not come in time. That's probably another dead villager, unfortunately. Army heading forward for Max. How's Vinch's base looking? If the knights get in on this wood line, it's kind of an issue. Or if they can somehow get in on this gold. This is open, I'm pretty sure. Feels like the eco's just not there for Max. Double stable, but we've only been producing out of 1 at a time. Not having the fish here is so tough. Ooh, Vinch notices that hole. That's great. Even plugs this gap, so it's going to be very costly if Max wants to run straight through here. Great damage control. This is still closed. And should be pretty simple for Vinch to get the rest of his walls up if the knights do the full loop-de-loo around. This is a good clear up, but Max has not gotten a ton of value off this Castle Age timing. Knights can also do pretty good work on the water, to be honest. So they're helping out a lot here. All this goes down for Vinch. Could also send the knights back here. Start taking out fishing ships. There is no melee armor on a Japanese fishing ship. Forward Siege Workshop now for Max. Goes for a Scorpion opening. These wood lines are going to become an issue for Vinchester pretty quickly here. Going to be Max is pushing in through the houses as well. So Vinch has to evacuate that wood line. He's going to find a different one. Probably just wall up behind this. Second Scorpion comes out for Max. Castle Age comes in for Winchester. Max is still ahead on villagers by a little bit. Monastery defense from Vinch. I don't know if Max did enough damage, though. Monastery in defense for Max. Malians have very good monks. Japanese also do, I suppose. Gonna lose a stable here, which is a little unfortunate, depending on what we actually wanted to get into here from Vinch. I think it's probably just Cav Archers, though, largely. He is making a couple of Knights, but feels like Cav Archers are the main play here. Monk trying to snipe this siege there, but Max already had the monks in defense. Ooh, that knight popping out was a little unfortunate, though. Both Scorpions do go down. Mangonel is out now for Max. Sanctity is in for Max. Vinch is trying to get some Cav Archer numbers on the field. How much gold is left here? Feels like we are mining a lot of gold and have been for a while. Oh, it's so ugly. These villagers have no idea where they're going. 1800, 1900. That's still a lot. But we do eventually need to think about... Okay, we've already got a TC back here. Never mind. Never mind. Vinch is doing the right things. Max goes for a second TC on the stone. Knights can still find value on this wood line if they actually run in there, but Vinch is going to simply leave. Basically, all of Winchester's eco is right up here. 25, now 26 of his 50 villagers are just right up there in that tiny little area. The rest are kind of over here. Got two Mangonels here for Max, but Mangonel's going to come out for Vinch as long as he doesn't lose it for free against the Knights. One monk goes down. Max feels a little uncertain about where to actually attack here. Feels like he's waffling a little. I think you just got to commit on the TC, right? Third TC for Vinch. Cav Archers are microing down the siege here. Winchester is very good at dealing with siege, both controlling it and microing against it. Great conversions, too. I don't know, man. It was a good timing from Max, but it feels like Winchester is taking his balance out a little bit here on this push now. Micro from Vinch has been just completely spot on. I think you just push in against these archery ranges, right? Clear this stuff up. It forces Vinch to rebuild it anyway, which he'll need to do. That's a little bit annoying, but then you have a much easier avenue of approach towards this town center. Knight's still looking to run in. Can Vinch get another quick wall down? He can't. Wait a minute. This could be rough. No forging on the Knights is going to matter here for sure, but we're still going to be losing villagers. Oh god, it's so ugly. It's actually really ugly. Alright, well, Winchester loses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 villagers there, I think. Not nothing. That is definitely not nothing. Like 18% of his eco, roughly. But 3 town centers now for Vinch. I suppose it is 3 town centers for Max. Winchester continues to do nicely on water, though. He's won both inside and outside on water now. 10 fishing ships as well with the Japanese, so... I said 18% of his eco, but that's only 18% of his villagers. He has quite a healthy fish boom going as a Japanese. Board's getting pushed back. And, I mean, we're in this composition where I said it's kind of difficult for the Malians, right? Feels like they don't have the best answer in the world against Japanese cav archers. Ballistics is also in. Husbandry on the way, so these cav archers are going to be able to snipe down villagers real quick. Where's... Feels like a waypoint issue. That was a nice attack ground from Max. But he's going to need another one or two of those. Cav archers back up for now. They've taken a lot of damage. Penguins are chasing Max. Where is... Like, Max just has villagers walking everywhere, man. He's getting outposts up around the outside, which is good. 2 relics for Max. Only 1 for Vinch. Max is losing a lot of villagers just to random walking through Vinch's base. Like, where are these vills going? Feels like something really bad happened to Max's waypoints and he hasn't noticed yet. This 1 TC is just funneling villagers to their death. Vision is getting pretty good for Max, though. He's looking for more relics. Oh, he just misses this one. Is that the last relic on the field? Probably, right? Yeah, because he's getting this one back. I mean, he's going to have at least 3, maybe 4 relics. This is really unfortunate, though. As he fixed it. Will this villager also walk across the field? Yep, she's on her way. Okay. He might have noticed there. But outposts go down as quick as they go up. Max loses more villagers around there. He's going to go for a castle near the front of his base. This locks down some gold. Also kind of covers this stone behind. That is important. Max did not have another gold he could take, and he's through that one. Oh, he does have this one in the back. But this is very wide open if Vinch ever runs through with the cav archers, which is exactly what he's doing right now. Okay. We're losing villagers here, Max is, but he is taking out some cav archer numbers. Oh, this one knight. One converted knight, I'm pretty sure, shows up at the back of Max's eco. That's so annoying. Max is now 20 villagers behind. I think he's just kind of cooked. Trying to fight this knight. 20 villagers behind plus 14 fishing ships for Vinch, who is also massing up quite the navy in the middle. This navy could take out quite a few buildings from Max on the shoreline. This TC as well could go down from navy. Maybe even this one. I think even this one. I think you can go up pretty far on the ice here. This was against a slightly worse player. I would still say Max has a shot, but I don't know if Vinch ever lets Max come back from here. 2 minutes away from Imperial Age. Vinch wants a forward castle. That one's not quite going to happen. In fact, Vinch could lose a lot of military here if he doesn't react very quickly to this castle. He's going to lose both mangonels at least. And the monk. Okay, he goes for his castle back here. But Max is a minute and a half behind on the way to Imperial Age, which is going to be tough in this castle war. I was going to say we could definitely lose some vills here. If I don't know what Vinch is paying attention to. It's not the prettiest castle to get up. Okay, we're fine. The mobility of Vinchester with these cav archers is so tough. He's just looping in from every direction. Max has a lot of vital eco too. Gonna lose the rest of these vills on this gold. We don't have Thumb Ring yet from Vinch, which is kind of a big deal with the cav archers here. Gossamer coming in. as well as guard tower. Imperial Age hits. And GG, yeah. It was a good try. It was a good try from Max. The initial push was strong. He had the advantage early on, but Vinch just took a few too many good fights with better micro. And then the Cav Archers, both the Cav Archers being online and having the fishing eco for that long just caught up against Max. All right, welcome in. Game 2 of the 1v1 section of Suomi versus SalzZ. We are here on the Pamir Mountains. It is Amalius versus Classic Pro. Suomi is more known for their Nomad starts, but Classic Pro is quite handily the better 1v1 player between these two. So if you don't know the Pamir Mountains, you do not start with enough res for the town center. You have to build yourself a lumber camp first. And then stake out where you want to be after that. Very hilly. Actually, extremely hilly, especially on the 1v1 version of this map. Usually there's bigger flatland areas. But it's almost all hills here, so it's going to be a little tough, actually, to really slide your TC in anywhere. It's going to take some forward planning. Okay. Classic Pro's quite far ahead on his way to this town center. The goats are kind of laming his wood line here, so he has to get them out of the way a little bit. But already back up to 200 wood. It's only 120 for Amalius. And the wood line's also not super pretty. There's definitely space for you, brother. Okay, there we go. So, Classic Pro is going to be faster to the TC. Where does he want it? Oh, God. Oh, okay. He really slots it in here. Got a lot of goats as well. Amalius goes for his own. So it's Spanish for Classic Pro. It is the Romans for Amalius. Romans is an interesting pick. They do have just a nice eco, which might be good enough, but Spanish want to do Spanish things, right? There's quite a bit of stone around Classic Pro, so if he just wants to go conks, which I think is the way, feels like Amalius is not going to be able to deny that, but we shall see. Classic Pro does. He's probably going to be a villager ahead of Amalius here, just off the back of his TC being up so much faster. Yeah, he is. He's exactly one villager ahead. Where are boars? All right, Classic Pro's got one coming back here. Can probably take 2 more. Amalius has a second one in the back here. That might be his only other boar, though. I don't see how he can ever get a third. Maybe he can sneak this one from super far away. Looking good for Classic Pro here, though. We'll see what the strategy is, though. Excuse the semi driving past my window. What are you actually doing here as the Romans? Is it actually like a big... You just play feudal for scouts? Or are you trying like scorpion shenanigans? I don't fully know what the best plan of action is against Spanish. Scorpions probably, once you get ballistics, they probably do okay against conquistadors, but I don't know. A lot of res investment. Okay, another boar coming in here, but Amalius is around. Yeah, he is around with his horse. Trying to block Classic Pro's villager. Classic Pro at the same time is trying to block with his own horse. Boar's getting some hits in. It is uphill. Oh god, it's so awkward. Okay, TC's here, so the boar is going to come in just fine. Certainly annoying for Classic Pro, but all is well. Boar comes in. Amalius is indeed taking that long distance boar. Should be fairly straightforward as well. No loom yet. Ooh, you have to be careful, especially on the hill. Yeah, you gotta be paying attention here. Oh, did not tap that wall segment. Ooh. Okay, should be fine as long as we don't mess anything up here underneath the TC. Should be okay. It's fine. Alright. Good enough. More goats coming back here for Classic Pro. He's got so many. Which might end up mattering here pretty soon. Also going to find the TC from Amalius, if you didn't know already. Well, I guess he didn't technically find it, but he can intuit it with the boar being there. Amalius is trying to feudal age here. Gonna go up after Loom. Whereas Classic Pro's simply going FC. I mean, Classic Pro's not right on top of a stone. So theoretically, if you just go with enough feudal army, you could keep him off stone. He will still be in the castle age. Amalius wants this boar, but I don't think Classic Pro's going to let that happen. Gonna take a peek at this stone, though. I wonder if you slow roll it at all with Classic Pro. Instead of jumping straight to the castle conks, just get, like, additional TCs up, maybe on some of these resources. Get your boom going and then transition that into a castle. I feel like Romans are gonna struggle late game versus the Spanish, so I don't know if you ever really need to worry about killing fast here. Yeah, Amalius is going to prevent this stone from being taken, but unfortunately Classic Pro has another one in the back. Tower Rush from Amalius could be good, but I don't know. We're getting the blacksmith market up. We're definitely hitting Castle Age easily here. It's just a matter of if we're going to have... I think he's fine, though. I don't think Amalius is ever going to get back here in time to prevent a castle from being viable here. Castle Age is on the way. Amalius is out of food. Could be up pretty soon if he wanted to be, but the Tower Rush kind of has delayed him a lot, unfortunately. He can see the stone back here, so we should know that Classic Pro is able to take as much stone as he wants. This is our last goat. We've already taken one herd of ibex here. Okay, we click up to Castle Age. Literally 0 villagers on food right now. Where do you put the castle? This is another question. Probably just down here or something, right? Although, where's our gold coming from? Probably here, so maybe a castle right in the gulch wouldn't be too bad. Gold is probably the biggest issue right now for Classic Pro trying to go conks. Alright, Castle Age is hit. Here's our castle. Where's it gonna go? It's awkward, right? He's like, where do I put the... Oh, there's a gold back here. Alright, that works out just fine. That works out just fine. And we'll see what the game plan is here from Amalius. I don't know if the Romans have anything to deal with this. They don't even get Sanctity on their monks, so it's tough to even go monk defense against the conks. Okay, we're starting with the monastery, though. He sees the castle. Gonna be housed, unfortunately. I don't know, I'm not feeling it. Got our first couple of conks out on the field. They're coming in hot. They can do a lot of damage from the back of this wood line. The only good thing here for Amalius is that gold is right underneath the TC. But we're still going to be losing villagers here. Oh, it's open all the way through there too, unfortunate. Does not get that conversion. Second TC. Maybe you just have to boom it out. You know your opponent's not going to have a good eco behind this. Maybe if you can just get enough TCs down, I don't know. Romans are not the civ you want to be going heavy monk play with, though. Classic Pro's doing a great job scouting back here, too. He's got his horse consistently making sure there's nothing back here from Amalius. I like that a lot. Monks run back in. Where are the monks? They're on the other side of the base. Another villager goes down. It's just so quick for the bills to go down. This might still be open still. It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe not. Villagers in the open around here. Classic Pro sees that. So the conks can maybe go around that way. Monks still do not get a conversion. Amalius is on the second TC. Eco is not currently working super well, though. Amalius, please. Okay, we're getting it figured out. Well, only 2 villager deaths, so the conks have not found a ton of value just yet, but it feels like it's only a matter of time here. And here we go. 2 conks are converted. Okay, that's a good start. 1 goes down immediately. But that's not terrible. Eco is still a little rough. PC getting some good damage in on these conks. I don't know what Classic Pro's doing here. Losing a lot of HP on these conks. Okay, monks have their mojo back. 39 to 38 villagers in Amalius's favor. He's going to get himself back on stone in the back here, but the conchs might be able to get through there. They might also not be able to. They're in a bit of a tough position here. 2 more get converted. They're kind of stuck back here, actually. This has been really good from Amalius. And the rest of the conchs go down to their friends. Huge. It's 3 to 5 conchs. Only in Classic Pro's favor. Another one's going to go down here, but 44 to 41, the all-in has not really paid off super well for Classic Pro. I think Amalius wants a TC back here somewhere, but you got to be real careful with these conchs rolling around. Oh, and the goat gets taken, so maybe Classic Pro realizes there's Vils back there. Okay, Amalius goes for the TC. The conchs circling back in. Can you get through here? No. Another Vil does go down, but the conchs have to leave or else risk getting converted again. Oh, and Classic Pro wants a super forward castle. I don't know about this one. He's going to need the conchs to be involved here. This is kind of a throw. Wait a minute. This castle is a terrible idea for Classic Pro. What are we doing here? If the conchs could hit anything, it'd be great. Imagine a conquistador that could hit anything. We're gonna have to back up, though. Man, that could have been so good for Amalius if those conchs hit any of their shots. Could have been a lot of dead villagers. Amalius is going to clog things up here at the base of this castle. Spanish builders, but there are monks here. They've already started... There's a lot of monks here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's a lot of monks here. Conquistadors getting converted. They're going to start hitting their shots eventually. Villagers going down. It's 57 to 41 as Amalius actually won this. There was just no huge damage. Suddenly it's 11 to 4 eco kills in Amalius' favor. The castle is fully denied. More Vils are going to go down on the retreat. That castle was a disaster for Classic Pro. Absolute disaster. Amalius has more conchs than Classic Pro now. Wow. Okay. Well, turns out if you just have enough monks, it doesn't matter if they have sanctity or not. You just need enough of them, and they'll survive long enough to get conversions in. Conchs versus conchs. Still being annoying here. Man, losing more conquistadors to the converted conchs is such a bad feeling too. It's such double value. 70 to 37. I think Classic Pro's dead. Super, super all in, and it just did not pay off. The monks are back. The Classic Pro has to leave again. Amalius' base was just wedged in here so nicely against all the cliffs and woodlines and stuff. It was tough for Classic Pro to actually find a place to put down a castle, I think, that did a lot of good for him. Having this TC is so good for Amalius as well. He's got double the eco now of his opponent. And I said Romans feel like they struggle late game against Spanish. That's not the case if you get there with double the villagers in half the time. Classic Pro just can't take a fight. He can't afford to lose another 2 or 3 conchs to conversions here. This castle foundation continues to just sit here as well. That's 650 stone just not being used. Atonement for Classic Pro. This might have been the answer earlier on, to be honest. Amalius has not... Well, now he has. He's making knights now, but up until this point, for the first 30 minutes of the game, Amalius did not make a single military unit. It was just monks. Spanish have far superior monks. A couple more conks do get converted here. But I think they're going to go down pretty quickly, and they do. And maybe the monk play was just how you needed to go immediately. Panic Tower here. We're going to lose more villagers, but the knights come out. Conks. Oh, they do just manage to get away. Could have been a surround there. Still only one TC, though, for Classic Pro. And the Night Flood has begun. 90 villagers for Amalius to spam out these units. He is going to give some up to conversions. And now the conks are hitting all their shots. Absolute sharpshooters. But we cannot afford to lose villagers like this. We just can't. Even if the entire army goes down here for Amalius, like... a handful of villagers is a pretty large percentage of Classic Pro's eco right now. Gonna have to delete this castle or it's gonna go down to knights. Another TC out here for Amalius. It's been such good macro behind the defense. Knights circle back in here. We are underneath the castle, so probably won't lose that many villagers, but we're gonna lose a couple. Like I said, even if, like, that was 2 villagers, that's 5% of Classic Pro's eco right now. Fletching on the way. Yeah, this is over. This is super over. Amalius is going to triple Classic Pro's eco here pretty soon. Okay, man, there's nothing more triggering in this game right now than the villagers getting caught on the corners of buildings. I swear. Classic Pro finally has to delete that foundation. He also mined out all of his stone back here, so it's not going to be cheap for him to get another castle. Where is he on stone, actually? He's on stone all the way up here. Alright. So he can get another castle. I don't know if it helps, though, really. First castle is dropped here from Amalius. University as well back here. Scorpions would go pretty hard right now, to be honest. At this stage, I think they solo at this point. Imperial Age on the way for Amalius. Classic Pro's basically Castle Age forever. Could find a lot of value at the base of this castle, though. Gonna be a lot of dead vills, but Amalius can afford to lose a couple villagers a lot more than Classic Pro can. Couple conks go down to conversion there. We are losing villagers. That was a lot of vills that just went down for Amalius. Once the trebs start coming out, you can get basically anything on the field. Scorpions, more knights, whatever. Another castle here. Might just be GG once Imp hits, to be honest. Classic Pro is going to see both of these town centers, so he knows the eco is really good for Amalius. And... I mean, he knows his eco is not good. He absolutely knows that his eco is not good. Oh, he wants a castle here now, but that's not going to happen. This is a good find for more villagers, though. But Amalius' castle goes up. So he's going to have to abandon that attempt. Like, where do you even put castles here at this point? Basically nowhere, because Imperial Age is 20 seconds away. More conks getting converted. Knights killing vills, and yeah, like I said, we just can't afford this. Imperial Age hits. And GG, okay. Okay. That's really good for Suomi. That is really good for Suomi. That is really, really good. Because now it's probably going to be antagonist versus Velessa on the closed map. And as rusty as Velessa might be, he's really, really good on closed maps. Man, it felt really good for Classic Pro, but just could not find the damage with the conks, right? So much of Amalius' eco was just wedged in here between these two town centers. And the monk defense was really good. Amalius just had enough monks to get enough conversions to stave off the initial conquistador pressure. This TC was really, really good for Amalius. I mean, he's got 32 vills back here right now, just off the back of those 3 or 4 that he sent to build this TC. Really good. All right, welcome in. I guess I can actually now change this actually just to this and forget any of these scores, because winner of this game takes the first point in the overall set. Here, SalzZ versus Suomi. We've traded off our 1v1 games. This is the decider match for that first point. We are here on Andalucia, which has supposedly been fixed. And I guess it has. Earlier in the tournament, we saw some very weird trade workshop spawns that were heavily favorable to one of the players over the other. I still expected there to be one in each corner, but I guess this is still fair. As the Kings are duking it out to find this first trade workshop. Looks like Velessa's going to find it. So we've got Velessa here playing as the Burgundians, up against Wide, who is playing as the Berbers. Bohemians were available, Portuguese, Koreans, Turks, Byzantines. All of those civs were available here for Wide. He chose Berbers, which is very, very surprising to me, both because I feel like the other civs make a little more sense here, but mostly just because Berbers are very strong on all of the other maps in this series, whereas I don't really know if we're picking a lot of those other civs in other maps, but maybe it depends on, again, I don't fully know Limpopo as a map, so maybe it is super closed and we just are going to get Turks, Bohemians, and whoever, but we shall see. Players are currently just dueling for these trade workshops. Looks like Velessa is getting the upper hand for now. But Wide's going to take another one. Really good if Velessa can keep control over 3 of these. You take a 1v1 here. Oh boy, who's got the steel nerves? It's a 50-50. Wide does not have the steel nerves. It's huge. If you lose that 50-50, it is massive, because suddenly your opponent can take all 4 trade workshops for free if your scout goes down there. So the robo nerves of Velessa win out, and he's going to maintain control over at least 3 trade workshops, it feels like. Really good by Wide here to show back up, though. And Velessa's on the wrong side of this hill. Round 2. 50-50. Oh, now Velessa wimps out. Okay. Okay. This is regicide, so as feudal ages are coming in here for both players, you do need to be a little careful with your king. In the Dark Age, they're pretty much untouchable, but becomes risky to have them far away from your base in the feudal age. Gonna be fast castle for both players. It just is. It's actually a little bit slow for both players. They both could have gone up faster if they wanted to. Stable blacksmith for Valesa. So Valesa maybe wants to contest for relics here. Wide is just pushing deer with his king, and Valesa will do the same. Alright. Wide has taken 3 of the 4 trade workshops now in this time. Where is Valesa's scout? He's healing it. Oh, okay. He's healing it back up. I think Wide probably is going back home to do the same. Valesa did hit the Castle Age timing a bit better than Wide. Not by too much, but a solid, you know, almost 30 seconds ahead. Scout's been fully healed. Oh, sorry, no. Scout is half healed and he's created a second scout, so he's going to be retaking control over these trade workshops. Looks like Wide wants to push into the middle. If you make a petard, it goes through like 99% of the HP, so you do need to hit it a couple times with a military unit. But all 4 trade workshops are going to be Valesa's. So that drip is coming in. It's more of a trickle than a drip now, I would say, as far as the food goes. This deer has really wedged itself into the corner. Oh my god, this deer. Where is it going? Where in the world is this deer going? It's trying to get out the gate. Don't let it out, Valesa. Don't do it. There we go. Okay, this should be now an easy push. Castle Age hits. Valesa goes light cav, goes second TC, and will mine his way to a third TC. You do start with only 150 stone on this map, so you can't go immediate triple TC for free. Scout for Wide. I think gets away because of Light Cav coming in. If Light Cav didn't come in right there for Valesa... Oh, never mind. Okay, it wasn't going home after all. Camel Archers are on their way. Petard for the middle is also on its way. Wide has primed the wall segment here, but man, all 4 trade workshops for quite a while now for Valesa. Pustier on the way out. Husbandry is in. It is not for Wide. What's actually faster between these units? The Pustier is faster now, thanks to Husbandry. Third TC out here for Valesa. He's really spreading out. I mean, he's up against Wide, but his base is the Wide one right now. Okay, this deer is just taken. Valesa's through dealing with this deer. He just takes it a bit long range. Petard for Valesa now. As the Camel Archers find a good engagement against the Light Cav. Wide can at least take back 1 trade workshop here. Takes another one back on the other side. Okay, so we're back even on trade workshops. Les is bringing a monk forward, maybe for the relics in the middle, maybe to try and sneak a conversion on a Camel Archer. No Sanctity yet, though. Where's that Petard? It's on the way for Wide. It's here for Valesa as well, though. But you do need the military to get the last hit. You go down to 22, 29 HP. He's yoinking this relic. He's going to need to take the long way around. Now with Husbandry on both sides, the Pustier is slower. Nice round, though. Camel goes down. Petard has had to... Or Petard died for Wide. The Pustier, I suppose. Like have not really providing that much value, though, anyway. Monk dies. That's unfortunate. Second TC, only now for wide, though. It has been a very late second TC, so Valesa's already about 10 villagers ahead. Wide's also housed. Oof. Yeah, it's a little sloppy here. I guess he wasn't housed for that long. Valesa's going to take out the last of this wall segment. The second Batard arrives for wide. He doesn't even need it anymore, though. Okay, he sends it home. He sends it home. He can just break through anyway, whatever. There's no villager here, though. Usually I like to see monasteries in the middle. Monument here does provide a trickle of the first 3 resources. Does not provide stone, but you can see we're getting the rest. Bustier getting some pretty good damage in here on the camels, actually. 1 was converted, and now 3 more go down to the charge attacks. There's another one down. I think Valesa actually can clear this up. Okay, this particular Bustier really hates this wall. Camels leave. There are monks here. Valesa can just yoink these relics back now. He doesn't even need to stay here, but he does have control over the middle monument now. Third TC for wide, but we're pretty far behind. 15 villagers behind right now, as a matter of fact. And GG. I guess. Was that a drop? Hey, does this work? Okay. Well, we can see what happened here while the next lobby is getting going. Okay, we haven't missed that much either, I don't think. I don't know when wide dropped. Bless is going to get probably all of the relics out of the middle, or at least most of them. Is still 15 villagers ahead. As second relic is yoinked out of the middle. Still sitting on these trade workshops too, which is unfortunate for wide. Even the one right next to his TC can't take. That's going to be 2 relics back for Valesa. He still has this one easily takeable. Another TC out here for Valesa. Keeping in mind, Burgundians get food as well as gold off of their relics. So each of these relics is a big deal for Valesa, especially. We've already got all of our Castle Age eco upgrades, even hand carts coming in for Valesa. Monks in defense here. And Light Cav harassing around the sides now. I mean, the only hope for wide is that he can get a big push going and somehow get a king snipe, I think. The eco's just too far behind for wide. To be able to just, like, micro here, right? Kind of a bad engagement there as well. Camel Archer's getting stuck up on the cliff sides. Lissa still has more monks in the middle. He wants this last relic at least. Nice healing as well. There's a lot of weak units in here for Valesa to heal up if he doesn't lose them. There's another relic yoinked out. This will be the 3rd one. This monk is not going where it needs to go to get this relic, though, unless he wants something else. Valesa did find this relic in the back. That's 1, 2, 3, probably 4 that he's going to get, and yeah, Imp on the way. This might just be GG once Imp hits, to be honest. White's going to go for a castle towards the middle, but cannot push in here against the monks and the cav. Loom for Valesa, only now. Three trade workshops, the monument, and all of these relics as the Burgundians is crazy. Look at the res collected difference. Camel archers are still very good here. Berber camels themselves are very strong against Burgundians, but not if you're stuck in the Castle Age and your opponent hits Imp with all of the resources under his control. Fervor, Elite Skirm, Block Printing, Ballistics, the Final Armor. Got everything coming in for Valesa here. Camels lose a bit of their numbers again, and yeah. I mean, we can hold here, but why GG's? We're just so far behind. 8.5k res collected ahead for Valesa with almost all of the relics. He's already got 4 in his monastery. He can take this one. That might be all 5. I don't know how many relics are usually on this map. Suomi is the team, if anyone doesn't know, Suomi is the team that got me back into Age of Empires after a decade or whatever of not playing it. Watching a Suomi tournament was what got me back in. All right, welcome in. We'll say game 2 here, Suomi versus SalzZ. We are here on the Thar Desert, which has been probably the most played map in this tournament so far. And okay, Suomi surprises me. Valesa is in the water civ position, playing as the Mayans. We have seen that a couple times, actually. It's nice to be able to, if you can win water with the Mayans, it's nice to then sort of springboard your transition into Eagles late in the game, which is usually what you want. Malius is Pocket, playing as the Chinese. And then Max is playing up top with the Huns. They are up against Winchester, playing as the Magyars. Classic Pro has the Saracens in Pocket. And Antagonist is rocking with the Byzantines in the water position. Okay. Interesting. Magyars, Saracens, Byzantines versus Mayans, Chinese, Huns. There's a lot you can do here with this Suomi team. Chinese can go Cav or Archers. Huns get the Cav Archers, which is really strong. And then Mayans can kind of... Going water first, you can kind of decide what you need from there. Either go Eagle Spam or just Archers. Byzantines are a little awkward in team games sometimes. I mean, they can go Arbalest fine. Their cavalry's okay, not the best. I don't know, sometimes it feels awkward. Byzantines should largely be favored on water, I think, especially if it goes late. Usually we don't get to the point in the game where players are like Imp and still contesting water. It's usually decided in either Feudal Age or early Castle Age. So the Byzantines don't get a ton of bonuses at that stage of the game. But if we're in a situation where this is going kind of into a late game where we're still fighting on water a bit, Byzantines should have the advantage pretty heavily over the Mayans. All right, both players are docking. We'll see how much Valesa wants to actually fight on water. You gotta do something. You gotta force your opponent to invest a little bit at least. Obviously, full contestation is still possible from Valesa, but even if you just want to do a little bit and then transition onto land, you still do have to do that little bit. So we'll see. Fishing ships on their way out for both players. And we'll probably see Loom here coming in from all of our players pretty soon here. And then we'll transition into the feudal age. Except for our water players. Water players might be a little bit late up to the next stage. All right, Feudal Age on the way for Max, Winchester, and Classic Pro. Malleus is actually taking it a little slower, but maybe that's just the Chinese start being a little bit more awkward. 28 seconds of idle TC time isn't amazing for the Chinese, but it's okay. Feudal Age is on the way for everyone now. All right, so probably could honestly be scout opening from both of our Suomi players here. Although this might be archers immediately from Amalias already on gold. Probably means it's going to be scouts for Max. Vinch will be going scouts for sure. And Classic Pro is probably going archers here with the Saracens. Gotta be a little bit careful here. We've got the double scouts forward here from Classic Pro and Winchester, and they're both about to hit the Feudal Age. So you have to be real careful here with these vills. We could lose some vills here. Feudal Age hits. They dive in immediately. Can Amalius save this villager? His scout comes back. There's no way. Won't or should not lose a second one. Ooh, TC gets a good shot on Winchester's scout as well. One vill for one scout. Especially a Magyar scout isn't the worst trade in the world. Malleus is the Chinese, so he's still a villager ahead of his opponents. On water, we have a second dock coming up for Valessa. You don't see the Mayan dock very often. I kind of like it. It's nice. Something about the way the actual dock of it is constructed is nice to me. Okay, this is annoying, but second dock completes for both of them. It can be fire galleys. Fire galleys for antagonist. It is regular galleys for Valessa. Should give antagonist the immediate edge, but once Valessa can get 6 or so galleys on the field, should be pretty good for him.
Shot it.
Antagonist being very annoying with the scout. He's just idling Valessa's villager because the eagle can't win the 1v1 against the scout, so the vill has to get involved. So it's good idle time. I don't know how worth it is for antagonist to be full focusing on that as opposed to anything else, but it is still damage. Fletching on the way for Valessa. Already 2+3 galleys coming out. He's already microing down the first fire galley. As we've got a big ol' scout fight. But Winchester's scouts are Magyars, so forging is already in for him. So the fights should be going better for SalzZ right now in a vacuum. It is indeed archers for Amalius and Classic Pro. But Valessa should start winning water pretty hard here. 5 galleys on the field, 3 more in queue. Marketplace behind this for antagonist. I like the galley opening a lot. I know you're the Byzantines and you want to be making fire galleys, but man, it feels so much better to be galleys on this particular map, I think. Valessa is going to hunt down this one. And he starts microing against the forward one as well. Really good. On land, got a pretty big army here for SalzZ. Oh, and these trees don't want to be walled. 11-9 as far as archer numbers go. 7-7 scouts, but again, Winchester's scouts are better. He's even getting the armor now for these scouts. So Valessa might win water, but things are getting a little spooky on land. Villager goes down there for Max as he gets his blacksmith up. Fire Galley's being a nuisance, but Antagonist is losing his fish at the same time. But Antagonist just needs to delay at this point, right? Now, he's got to switch his thinking away from winning water, probably, but if he's just contesting, forcing Valessa to continuously invest to keep his fish alive and keep Antagonist off water, feels like Sal's team is putting in a lot of work on land, so if Valessa can't help out, it's going to be tough for Suomi. It'd be real tough for Suomi. Gonna be another dead Vil. Absolutely no pressure in SalzZ's base, unless you count this. Castle Age on the way for Antagonist. Ooh, wait a minute. Bless is going to click up here soon as well. Could be a good timing, though. Last of the fishing ships goes down for Antagonist. But this is going to force Valessa to even invest in War Galley, which not ideal when your allies are getting kind of killed on land. Okay, we're going to clear up the Archer army at least. So Classic Pro loses his army, but Vinchester is still taking good fights with his scouts. I think this does get cleared up finally, though. Okay, so Eco KD, not that bad. Amalius lost 4, Max lost 1. That's not the end of the world. And the team wall has completed, I think, basically. In fact, it might have fully completed, so fully walled here is Suomi now. There are still some ships here to be annoying. Castle Age hits for Vinchester, though. He goes for the War Galley upgrade. Blessa is still 60 seconds away from Castle Age. This could be a big reversal on water for for Antagonist. It's a lot of archers, though. It's a lot of archers. Forward for Amalius. Classic Pro has quite a few archers as well, but I think he's sitting at home with some of them. I guess only a couple. Bloodline's on the way for Vinch. Max is inching closer to the Castle Age. Amalius is not close. Classic Pro clicks up. War Galley's in. The fire ships are coming across the field. They do very, very well against Feudal Age galleys. Bodkin War Galley is on the way for Valessa, though. Ooh, and then we're going to be back inside the base, barring great wall. Beautiful Siege Workshop wall there from Valessa. Really good. He doesn't want to have to think about this while he's trying to micro on water as well, but that's a really good wall to start out with. Fire ships dive on the fishing ships. They do clear up some of them. Now they're getting a pretty good fight against the War Galleys, I should say. We're getting a pretty good fight against the War Galleys because the land army is punched into Valessa's base. He's trying to save his eco while also microing on water. He does clear water, but he lost a lot of his navy to do so. Goes for his second TC. Antagonist is already adding in his third. All of SalzZ is up to the Castle Age. Ditto just now. Amalius clicks up. Very defensive so far from Suomi, though. Not a ton of... They really have not been forward hardly at all this game. Alright, these scouts are now even with one another. Vinchester no longer has the advantage, upgrade-wise. Crossbow Bodkin. These are Saracen crossbows as well, so they will melt the palisade gate. Oh, and this is awkward. We're still over a minute away from Castle Age here as Amalius, but he's being forced to fight with his archers. He's losing a lot of villagers on this tower as well. Vinchester is losing scouts, but that's a lot of eco dead for Amalius. That is a lot of eco dead. Vallessa is switching onto land now. Still has not fully cleared up water, though it doesn't look like Antagonist is going water anymore either, necessarily. Ballistics is just about in here for Classic Pro, which is going to be real tough to fight up against. But Max is hanging out with some knights. He wants to take a fight. He gets the +2 armor in. Vinchester does not have much of an army on the field. He's getting knights out now, but he drops double TC behind this. So he's taking a more economic approach to things. Fish goes down for Vallessa. You just got to be careful you don't lose too much here as Classic Pro. He's got a big army here, but there's not too much from Vinch, and Antagonist is still basically off the map right now. He's got one fire ship on the field that is all for military. So we're going to have a 3v2 here for a little while in Suomi's favor. What's Res looking like? Amalius needs a university. Okay, he puts it down. Definitely need to match ballistics here. Thumbring even coming in for Classic Pro. University for Vallessa. 11 knights for Max, only 8 for Vinchester, but Max is only adding in the second TC now. Vinch has been on 3 for a hot minute. We need ballistics in a really bad way on Suomi's side. It's so awkward to fight up against these ballistics crossbows without it. We're going to start taking out some archery ranges, though, from Classic Pro. This is good. Ballistics on the way for Amalius. First archery range melts down pretty quick. Who needs Saracen crossbows? Vinchester has a pretty good army out here. I don't know if it's enough to take a fight, though. Ballistics on the way for Vallessa. Thumbring for Amalius. Archery range does indeed go down. Ballistics is in for Amalius. Still a lot of military on the field. 92 to 61 in Suomi's favor. As Vallessa finally full clears water. Antagonist is trying to get into his own crossbows now. Ballistics lands for Vallessa. 20 knights are on the field for Max. Vinchester is fully upgraded, though. Don't lose army for free here, ideally. Vallessa's, or actually all 3 have more reinforcements coming across the field right now. For Suomi. Vinchester's being so patient here. So patient. Knights are going to start working away at the houses at the front of Classic Pro's base. We need the knights over here, Vinch. We're also going to need Antagonist to send some military this way, I think. Classic Pro is going to start to lose some villagers here. Gotta take a fight together. Both teams here have to take a fight together. Vinchester is being so patient. Imperial Age for Antagonist. Imperial Age. Okay, this is what you get if you don't make any military for your team. So as long as Classic Pro doesn't get absolutely nuked here, this could be really good. There's just not enough crossbows here yet for Antagonist. He's getting ballistics now. Vallessa doesn't have a ton of army either, though. And a lot of it's still in the base coming forward again. Amalius just adds in his second TC now, but Classic Pro's still only on 1, so that's not too bad. Let's start doing damage to more production buildings here, maybe. Also getting in good damage with a small army here. Imp on the way for Valessa. Another archery range is down for Classic Pro. He's having to make more in the back, which is going to eat into production hugely. Actually, Classic Pro has a big issue right now with his eco. He has basically no wood, which does not feel great. Vinch is coming out, though. Vinch has emerged. And I think he's just going to go forward against Suomi. Force Suomi to make a decision to either go home or potentially lose a lot. Max losing some knights here. 35 to 31 in Max's favor still. He's getting the final upgrade. Or the Castle Age at least. Bracer is on the way though for Antagonist. He is up to 26 crossbows, which is pretty good. And this could be a big clear up. We're itching for a fight. SalzZ wants a big fight here. Malleus is on the hill, but Bracer is in. Arbalest on the way. Chemistry on the way for Antagonist. Full retreat. We're going to lose a lot of our military on this retreat, it feels like. Maybe, maybe not. Imp coming in for Classic Pro now. Malleus and Max are not close. Malleus being this far behind Classic Pro is actually maybe a bit of an issue. Trying to take a good fight on the retreat. It's awkward though. I don't know. This is looking pretty good for SalzZ. Imperial Age is in for Valessa. He's trying to wait for at least Bracer, and he gets it in. He can take a good fight against Classic Pro now, but Arbalest is not in yet. We're still missing armors. Suddenly now Valessa is split up from his friends. Ooh, this is a disaster. If Valessa loses this army for free right before his last upgrades hit, it's really bad. Finch is losing a lot here, but it's going to be a full clear up on Valessa. Finch loses a ton, actually. That was amazing micro for Valessa. Absolutely crazy. Suddenly, Max is here. Where is Amalius? Not really in a position to help. Classic Pro hits Imp. Now he's going to pull his army back long enough to get his upgrades in. Valessa trading off somewhat evenly against Antagonist. Imp coming in for Max. Vinch is not too far away. Max is pretty good if he can spam out Paladin. We know this. Imp for Amalius now coming in. If Suomi can not take critical damage in the next couple minutes, they might have a shot still. But I don't know if SalzZ is going to give them the opportunity. Panic Tower, even Guard Tower coming in here for Valessa. Loses some villagers to get that up. And these are Saracen Arbalests, so they can go through buildings pretty quickly. Who cares about towers? Kind of disrespectful to use these archers against the Mayans, who were the original siege Arbalest civ, but you know, it is what it is. Forward castle from Antagonist. Obsidian arrows was a long time ago, unfortunately. Unfortunately for Valessa, anyway. Eco is still a little bit ahead for Suomi. But Valessa is losing a lot of vills, just trying to delay this attack long enough. He's dropping towers everywhere he can so that his allies can get to Imp and get their upgrades. Losing a lot of vills to do this, though. Losing some Arbalests as well. Castle's going to go up for Antagonist. We're just trying... Suomi does not want to take a fight here, if possible. Unfortunately, Valessa is getting gutted because his teammates are trying to stay alive long enough to get their upgrades in. Cavalier and armor clicked immediately for max. These are slow upgrades, though. It's another 60 seconds before these come in. Amalius is going to hit him. He can afford Bracer. Can't really afford much else right now. He goes for Arbalest. And is going to hit the market so he can afford Bracer. Unless SalzZ gets too overconfident here and ends up losing their entire army for free, I think they're in a commanding position. Valesa's taken so much damage here. Here we go. Cavalier hits. Armor hits. This is going to be a bad fight for Classic Pro at least. Winchester is not here with a whole lot either. Arbalest Bracer hits for Amalius. Classic Pro is going to lose everything. Does take a lot of Cavalier with him. Oh, Vinch is in the back with what little army he has. It's eviscerating Valesa's back wood line. Oh no, and Valesa doesn't notice. Classic Pro gets full wiped at the front, but we've got Trebs clearing up Valesa's base. Valesa's kind of out of things. Paladin is on the way for max, though. Valesa, please! Please notice, you've lost so many villagers back here, Valesa. What are we looking at right now? Do we even have army to micro? I guess a little bit. Nah, I think this one's over. I have a lot of faith in Max with Paladin, but I don't think it's going to be enough to overcome this. Vinch is also getting Paladin right now. And Valesa is just too dead. His entire base is getting gutted by the siege. Another castle from Antagonist. I wonder if Valesa needed to win water more and maybe do some damage back here with Navy. I wonder if that was ever the play. I don't know. GG. Valesa's too dead. He is simply too dead. And to be honest, the other two players are not super alive either. Winchester is at 131 Vils. Antagonist has 134. Suomi's just not there. All right, SalzZ ties the series up 1-1. It was looking good for a minute. I think Suomi just didn't do enough damage while they let Antagonist full boom, right? They couldn't quite crack the front of the base here. They weren't here fast enough to really put the pressure into a 3v2 situation. Antagonist just didn't really need to worry about it. Lost water, but just boomed on land. Maybe hitting Antagonist first would have been better rather than trying to push it on Classic Pro. I don't know. That's tough. All right, welcome in. Game 3, Suomi versus SalzZ. We are here on Lencoi Marenhenses, which, if you do not recall, you start Nomad, but you do get a town center. The only thing you can do is make villagers out of this thing, and then you have to build your actual TC. So you have to make a choice. You can come down here, get onto the wood. You can come up here, get onto Boar City. Or you can just drop your TC immediately, start getting villagers out ASAP. So it looks like Classic Pro's gone for that latter approach. Right up next to his other TC, interesting. This is not a great long-term TC. You're already getting villagers out with this one, right? So you end up kind of being flooded on Golden Stone and then having to come out here anyway. And it looks like both Winchester and Wide are coming up here. You also start with fishing ships, 2 fishing ships. So you do need to send some vills down here to dock in order to take advantage of that. Looks like pretty much everyone has done that, but let's introduce our players here. So for Suomi, Valessa has gone for the Italians, and it looks like he's going to be contesting water probably for his team. Amalius has gone for the Mongols. The Mongols are an automatic pick on this map because of all of the boars, right? There's just no way you're not picking Mongols. And then Max has gone for the Goths. Interesting. Okay. I did say, I mean, I called it. I said the Goths were a Max pick for sure. They're up against Winchester. He is playing as the Mongols. Wide has subbed in for antagonist yet again. He is playing as the Portuguese. And Classic Pro's chilling here with the Franks. Interesting. So ideally it would be the Portuguese contesting water. We'll see if that is how that plays out. All 6 of our players are here on the water, fishing away nice and securely. Finch yoinking as many boars as he can here with the Mongols. Beautiful. Beautiful boar lure. He's played some Black Forest before, you can tell. Loom coming in here for Amalius. And, well, I mean, Classic Pro has the villager lead because he put his TC down so fast. So he'll have the initial advantage here. Feudal Age coming in for Valessa, though. It is easier with the Italians, of course. They've got the cheaper upgrades, I should say. So he's going to have a pretty good advantage to the Feudal Age to start this water fight, but Wide's not too far behind. Only about 30 seconds. Goths. I mean, Goths are another civ that has the hunting bonus, right? So we're taking advantage of that. And Goth spam is pretty good, so if you can get your eco rolling nicely, I suppose the Goths are pretty solid. We've got militia coming. We've got a lot of militia coming from here. As far as I know, you can't garrison this building, so it's you can theoretically knock these initial town centers down with army. Obviously, Classic Pro is kind of safeguarded against that with how close his actual TC is to this, but that is something you can do. Feudal Age comes in here for Valessa. He's got double dock down here. He's even thinking about a third dock, and he's going to be going galleys. Max is still in the Dark Age, by the way, just making militia. Full Dark Age militia play. Interesting. Okay, he's going to go Feudal Age now, and he's going to make another barracks forward. So Max is going to be up to some shenanigans here, as Classic Pro is going to be taking the brunt of this infantry assault. Up top, Amalius is going to be able to pull off a pretty sick fast castle here, probably, with the Mongols. Vinch as well. I don't know why these militia were so far back for Max. It's going to be scouts from Classic Pro, of course, with the Franks. Valessa clearing up fishing ships here. It is indeed Wide with the Portuguese trying to counter dock play him. But he's not going to be able to save Classic Pro's fish, which is unfortunate for Classic Pro trying to go scouts here. A lot of militia. 10 plus 2 militia on the field for Max. He's going to be able to get men-at-arms here in the Feudal Age. Now, Vinch is going to start losing his fish. Doesn't matter as much to Vinch. He's got all the food he could ever want with the Mongols up here. He has kind of... He feels like Suomi got a much better positioning here with the TCs. Winchester kind of stole all of Wide's boars. Like, there's still a lot here. But look at how many boars are still left out here for Suomi to take. Galleys doing pretty good against the fire galleys here from Wide. Castle Age coming in for both of our Mongol players. How are the scouts getting along here? Not great. You can't really take a fight against the men-at-arms with the scouts. So Wide is having to repair a lot here. The wall goes down, so the men-at-arms are in on the gold. He's going to have to abandon that. He's going to have to fall... Can you garrison in this? You can't, right? No, you can't. So Max can absolutely dumpster this town center if he wants to. The Vills also don't really have anywhere to run currently. Wide's trying to get back onto the gold so we can quick wall out this army. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. He's going to lose a lot. He's going to lose a lot here, actually. There's even the horse here. Named Tabasco. Nice. I like that. If Max wanted to block. But that was a big hit on Wide. That's also his only gold. There is no gold up here. This is the downside of being so far away up north. It is going to be a castle drop from Winchester. Amalius is going Steppe Lancers. So Vinch wants the immediate Mangudai production with the castle drop. He is going to do some damage to Max here for sure. But Steppe Lancers are already being produced by Amalius. Galleys continuing to try and clear up fire galleys as Wide is going to attempt to take as many fishing ships down with him as he is able to. Bless's fish boom's going real nice though. Mangudai are out. Where are the Steppe Lancers? They're just kind of hanging out. Max is still in here with a lot of men-at-arms. Now it's Winchester that's going to start taking some damage from these guys. This is a lot of villagers for Vinch. Now being pulled away. He has made a tower, so he can garrison some of them, I suppose. And Classic Pro has been forced to switch into Frank archers to deal with these men-at-arms, which is not what you want to see. In a team game especially, you do not really want to be on Frank Frank archers. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Max gives up on his TC. He's just gonna delete it, make a new one. Mangudai are being an issue. But the Steppe Lancers have now arrived. Taking out more eco here. What's our actual eco numbers? They're still pretty even after all this. Vlessa has fully won water now, though. There's nothing left for SalzZ except their docks. And those won't last too much longer. Castle Age is going to hit for Wide. I don't know. The Steppe Lancers haven't found a ton of value. The Mangudai are simply the better unit to be in. So the longer this goes, the better it's going to feel for Winchester in that matchup. Wide is fully cleared up off of water now. I guess it still has a dock up here, but there's no real way to come back from here. So now Amalius can start adding in more fish, and Max can probably do the same. Steppe Lancers are being annoying up here in Wide's base. Mangudai are taking good trades against the Steppe Lancers, but they're starting to run out of eco to hit up here, so they probably start taking a journey down yonder. Classic Pro's on the way to Castle Age finally. He's got his Frank archers forward. Nice. Mangudai are going to be a problem in this area, though. We're going to need towers for sure. Towers and TCs. Bless is on 3 TC. In Castle Age, getting kill nets. Another TC here for wide. That's going to technically be his... Well, he's back down to 3 because he lost his first one to the men-at-arms. Finch lost his... Oh, no, he didn't. He still has his. Okay. Bill's going down. Mangadai are just so strong. And Amalius's eco is not good. Amalius's eco is really not good, actually. Might have been a little bit of a throw to open up Step Lancers instead of just immediately going Mangadai. We're going to lose all of the water here. Salz is completely off water now. Max is still Feudal Age as well. Castle Age comes in for Classic Pro. Imp is coming in for Valessa. But there's no land military just yet for him. He's trying to get into Crossbow, eventually Arbalest. Step Lancers finding some more damage here. But not as much as they need, I don't think. Another castle drop here. Oh no, Amalius is getting decimated by Vinchester. Castle will go up for Amalius. He lost a lot of vills there, though. I don't think he can deny this castle either from Vinch. He can't. Kills a couple vills on the pullback. Navy trying to come up here for Valessa. It's a little bit too late to help with that castle, though. Alright. Valessa's going to hit Imp well before anyone else. No one else is even close to clicking up, actually. So Bracer's going to come in. Valessa can maybe get Chemistry. Arbalest will take a little while, but also gonna have a castle here. Maybe Valessa can hard carry long enough for like Max to get back into the game or something. We need this last wall segment down real fast. No. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Vinch is just going to go through the gate anyway. Sal's expanding their ecos behind. Ballistics coming in for Vinch. She's getting good upgrades on the Mangadai. Still slow going, though. Only 10 Mangadai on the field right now, as Valessa's going to go for the forward castle. Can Valessa hard carry? Arbalest is on the way in. Forward castle in Imp. Wide is, I guess, the closest to Imp, but he's really not close at all. The fish booms are going nicely as well. The fish booms are going nicely, but Amalius is so dead. Amalius is giga dead right now. So Valessa's going to have to kill somebody really hard. And he's going to have to do it fast if he wants his team to get back into the swing of things here. It'd be GG soon. It's going to be GG soon for somebody either way, I think. Either Valessa absolutely steamrolls everything here, and it's GG for Salz, or he doesn't, and his team's just kind of dead. Max is still Feudal Age, by the way. No, there's no way, right? I don't think there's any way Suomi can get back into things here. Valessa's in a great spot, but... maybe, like, if Max was actually in a position to do something right now, there'd still be a chance. But Max hit himself too hard with the super fast militia men-at-arms rush. And, you know, being castle dropped also does not help, for sure. We are gonna... it is Max, so Max will probably end up with like 40 fishing ships here pretty soon if you let him. 16 fishing ships for Amalius is really keeping Amalius in the game right now. That's all that Amalius has. He's got castles on both of his town centers. Does he still have his... he does still have this building out here. Might be worth adding in more... Oh god, this is ugly though. Yeah, this is over. Blessa's got 40 Arbalests, which is good, but it's not going to be enough. Classic Pro's getting hit pretty hard. Wide's on the way to Imp. Does not really have much in the way of military on the field just yet, but we're getting there. Classic Pro's going to try and snipe the Trebs here with the Knights. It's not pretty, but he will be able to kill the Treb. Will he? Okay, nope. It's actually very ugly. That's very ugly for Classic Pro. Loses everything and does not kill a single unit there. TC goes down, but Classic Pro can still die a lot before he's as dead as Amalius is, right? He can still die quite a bit before he's as dead as Max is. As both of these players are now having to do a full evacuation away from their base. If Amalius just FC'd into a castle like Vinch did, this is a totally different game. If he gets a castle up at the front, it both prevents Max from dying, it prevents Vinchester from continuing to push in quite so fast, and it means you can match Vinchester's Mangadai with your own instead of going Step Lancers for basically 0 value. I like Step Lancers, but we just did not... They didn't get it done this game, right? Bless is going Cannon Galleons. He can kill a lot of castles from the water here. To be fair, he can kill almost every castle from the water that SalzZ has out on the field. Capture Age, okay. We were having a moment there. Yeah, now we've got Mangadai and Organ Guns pushing in here, and the Arbalests just aren't gonna get this one done. Oh, yeah, this is GG. This is unfortunately GG for Suomi. That puts SalzZ back in the driver's seat. I guess I won't fully call it until Suomi does, but I don't see how they can fight this one back. Castle does go down for Vinch. Cannon Galleons continue to push in here. The fish has done a lot of work for Suomi. I mean, look at the score. It's still even, thanks to this fish boom. But Imperial Age, even on the way for Classic Pro. Max is still Feudal Age, by the way. Max just has not been able to get anything going. He is up to 28 fishing ships, which is nice. But it's not going to be enough. Amalius is trying to get Eco down southward now. Wide is now slinging his teammates a bit. Man, I just... Oh god, Max is now super dead. Just call it, guys. How dead do you need your team to be? Max and Amalius are on 42 vills apiece. The trap couldn't quite come in either. That could have been good. Did Mangadai get trapped? They all die, maybe. But the organ gun mass is just something Valessa can't deal with right now. Classic Pro's also done a really good job just consistently finding rating damage with his cavalry. He's been the most dead out of anyone on his team for a while now, but he's found value, right? Wide does lose a castle. Man, just imagine this push from Valessa if even one of his teammates was alive. It'd be so good, right? Arquebus coming in for wide. Cavalier for Classic Pro. Vinch is only a minute away from Imp. We're running out of fish. It's going to have to be fish traps down here if we want to keep fishing. Max is getting in on it a bit. Yeah, we're getting there. Wide's going to lose another castle. Or might, anyway. Nah, he won't. We've got Elite Organ Gun now. And watch the Arbalests go down. GG is called. SalzZ takes it. That puts them back, like I said, in the driver's seat of this set. They just need to win their home map now. They don't even need to worry about Limpopo. Welcome in. Game 4, potentially decider match here. SalzZ versus Suomi, and we are on the brand new map Limpopo. And I have not seen this before, so let me take a quick peek around. Little arena, not a ton of resources inside the walls though. Especially wood is only 800. Okay, there is... Oh, interesting. There's water in the middle and on the outside strips. Lots of fish, actually, on the outside. And then it looks like most of the trees are down here and up yonder. So your base is walled off with fortified walls, but you really have to come out here for resources. Interesting. All right, let's introduce our teams. For SalzZ, Vinchester is rolling with the Vietnamese here. Classic Pro's in pocket with the Khmer. And Antagonist has the Bohemians on the other side. They're up against trio of names we have heard many, many times said together throughout the years. Max is playing as the Bengalis. Valessa is in pocket, playing as the Persians. And Rubenstock makes his first appearance today, playing as the Vikings. Okay. So Suomi, I guess, thinks the water should play a very big role in this map. We'll have to see if they're correct. Vikings feel really, really bad on land against these civilizations, but on water, they are going to feel pretty good. So we shall see. Rubenstock already coming up here. Interesting to note, the teams are split up this way, so they've got the safe water, but they split the wood lines, basically. Feels like Rubenstock, unless you can really get Navy built up in this middle area, feels like Rubenstock almost has to come forward and dock the opposing team's water, right? To get value out of the Vikings here. Okay, the Rhino lures are kind of awkward as well, trying to get them through the walls. But Rubenstock gets it done. Yeah, I guess there are little wood clusters around the back, so if you don't feel like coming all the way up here for wood, you can just do this like Vinchester is. Rubenstock sending this vill forward though. I think this will be the docking villager. Valessa's already docked, is already making fishing ships. Max is docking. This is a pretty much brand new map, so it's possible SalzZ has never seen it before. We don't see any docks from SalzZ. And they have not scouted basically anything. So if they don't know the map that well, it's Scouting is kind of important at a certain point. Okay, they're gonna find the water either way. Rubenstock's just about made it over here. Rubenstock's probably gonna dock the opposing water before SalzZ does, and Winchester's even pinging down here, so it is possible they didn't realize there was water. That almost feels like a there's water down here, guys, sort of a ping. But we'll see. I mean, there's a fish boom brewing here for Suomi. That is not the case for SalzZ right now. A lot of pings happening from SalzZ. I don't know what they're saying though. Feudal Age on the way for all of SalzZ. Rubenstock also clicks up here. And it's probably just going to be an FC from at least Valessa, probably Max too. They've got the fish going, so the economy is going to be way better for Suomi. Rubenstock even going for a second dock down here. Still no one is docked. I mean, they're forcing Rubenstock to invest a lot into stuff down here when SalzZ is not on water at all. But unfortunately, that means SalzZ is not on water at all. Feudal Age coming in for everybody except Max right now. Max is going to get Loom and probably click up after that. Rubenstock says, fine, I'll just fish boom in your side if you're not going to. And so far, it's paying off for Rubenstock. He's still able to take really effectively from this one lumber camp, whereas Winchester's already chopped his way through the wood line of this lumber camp. So it's nice that Rubenstock went out to the side. Excuse the semi. Feudal Age on the way for everyone here. Rubenstock doesn't even need to go galleys now immediately because no one has docked over here. And he scouted it with his scout, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's gone all the way up and down this water. So he knows SalzZ is not on the water. Feels like this is going to be a shellacking in Suomi's favor. Just absolutely no water is a killer on water maps. Castle Age is coming in pretty quickly from Classic Pro and Antagonist. Antagonist is going to have a castle to drop on Max. So maybe we're not done yet. Finch is like, oh. Oh, I see. He's going to be able to kill this villager, barring a great quick wall from Rubenstock. Rubenstock's going to try to get the quick wall down. He does. Beautiful. That's really good by Rubenstock. Can you fish, though? Ooh, we can't fish, though. That's unfortunate. We'll have to delete that wall again. Castle Age on the way for Valessa. Max is going to click up here after these buildings complete. Castle Age comes in for Classic Pro, though. Well, I have to let my cat out. Seven, and 10 fishing ships for Suomi, so the eco difference is rather severe right now in the Finns' favor. Like they're going for a bit of a team wall here in the middle as well. Finch has a couple of scouts back here hanging out. There is a spearman in defense from Valessa, though, that can probably scare these away. Scouts. I mean, I don't hate it. Like I said, it feels like a closed map, or it looks like a closed map, I should say, but it feels like an open map because all of your extra resources are on the outside of the walls. Forward castle drop from antagonist. SalzZ has to do damage ASAP because their eco is going to be way worse than Suomi's as this game goes on. Look at Rubenstock's fishing boom. It's outrageous. Rubenstock probably is just going to F fast imp, I should say. It's probably just going to be a fast imp from Rubenstock. If you can get Trebs and Arbalests out way before your opponents, then it doesn't really matter how good your Civ is on land long term. Extra TCs here from Max and Valessa. Nice quick walls by Max as well. Make sure this TC goes up. Valessa's TC is A-okay. A sight wagon's coming out for antagonist. I don't know how much damage they're going to find though. Look at Rubenstock's eco. Holy. It's going to click up to Castle Age here. And I think it is indeed going to be a fast imp from Rubenstock off the back of this crazy fish boom back here from him. The ecos are going to be astronomically better for Suomi at the end of this game. Even if they lose, it's probably going to be better for Suomi at the end. Double monastery defense from Max here. He's the Bengalis, so if there was ever going to be a Civ to go heavy monk defense, may as well be Bengalis. Castle Age on the way for Vinch. He's getting some rating damage in. It's tough to fully wall all this stuff. Well, Classic Pro's on 3 TC, so his eco is going to be looking okay at least. I don't know about his teammates, but his eco is going to be looking okay. Rubenstock going for a dock back here now, in case he's needed on the backside. We'll see what avenue Rubenstock takes to imp. He could drop a castle here, try to put some pressure forward. He's got outposts all over Rubenstock's base. Yeah, he's gonna hit Castle Age with almost enough res just to go imp immediately. Hussite wagons have not really been able to find the value they needed. Antagonist adds in the second TC now, but Valessa's already on 3. Vinchester's still trying to find value with his scouts. He hits Castle Age now. Rubenstock goes for the second TC. And not totally sure what Rubenstock is doing here. Felt like an imp. He's floating so much res, but he's setting up coinage now. There isn't a ton of gold on this map, it feels like. So, could be worthwhile getting water trade set up somewhat early, maybe. Classic Pro's gonna try and fight on water, but Rubenstock's already into longboats, so the fire galleys probably are not gonna find that much value. Also, Wagon's now looking for damage against maybe Valessa, maybe Rubenstock. Not sure what they can do over here unless they find their way all the way back into Rubenstock's back eco. Maybe there's some damage there. Antagonist drops another TC. Vinch is really poor economically, it's got to be said. 38 villagers, which is not behind Rubenstock, but Ruben's had 15 fishing ships working this whole time. This is good though. This will be a denied TC from Vinch. Cav archers are strong. guess Rubenstock did not want Imperial Age after all. Interesting. He's just gonna... Okay, and Hussite wagons have shown up. Where I said they needed to show up if they wanted to find damage. They are here. So things are getting a little messy here for Rubenstock. How's the rest of our team doing? Valessa is going imp. Or will as soon as he gets the buildings up. Like the build... You can tell it's a new map, right? You can tell it's a new map because all of the builds from everybody are kind of scuffed here. None more so than Sal's just not going water on a water map, but... Valessa could have clicked up to imp ages ago if he had the buildings. Rubenstock was floating a ton of resources when he wasn't trying to go imp. We're gonna lose some wagons here. Antagonist is... Well, just one. Okay. Winchester saves the others for now, at least. Imp on the way for Valessa. He's getting bloodlines. Already has some knights out on the field. I don't know where they are. But they're apparently on the field. Okay, here they are. Cav archers are a problem here for Winchester. His eco is just also a problem for himself, unfortunately. But it's good damage. Third TC can finally go up for Rubenstock. How's Max doing over here? Okay, it's not as good as I thought it might be. Surprised he doesn't have more fishing ships, honestly. He does have 19, but Max loves a good fish boom. He's even getting fish traps set up back here. You can tell Max is old school. He still places the fish traps one tile away from the docks instead of right on top of it. Oh boy. Slow grind of a game that felt like it was over as soon as we loaded in. Imperial Age for Valessa. Imp is on the way for Classic Pro. Persians kind of dumpster the Khmer late game though. It's gotta be said. They do kind of dumpster the Khmer. Knight spam has begun for Valessa. He's getting that final armor upgrade. Max clicks up to imp. Winchester's not too far away from going imp here. But, again, does not really have a great eco behind it, even if he does go up to imp. Max drops a castle forward on antagonist's forward TC. Caravan on the way. Trade cogs are coming out for Suomi in the back here. Slowly but surely. Antagonist realizes what is happening to him, and he's going to have to pull back off of this town center. Valessa is streaming knights into the back of Classic Pro's eco now. Still no, not even Cavalier has been afforded yet for Valessa. But forging on the way, armors are all in. Could probably just dive on this town center, to be honest, and kill a lot of Vils. Only so many can fit inside the TC. Cavalier on the way now. Classic Pro's making elephants. Full battle elephant with the Khmer. Interesting. Okay. Maybe that's good. But Imperial Age comes in for Max. Antagonist is still a minute away. What is Max even making? There's no military. It's full monk. There's no military on the field for Max. It's only monks. Rubenstock is slinging Valessa now. Oh, okay. I like that a lot, actually. Vikings don't have a great tech tree late in the game, right? So I actually don't mind Rubenstock just full slinging Valessa so that he can go Savar. That's pretty good, actually. GG. Okay. Yeah, I don't think Sal's realized what that map was, to be honest. That was a bit of a shellacking. Welcome in. Game 5. Decider match. Suomi versus SalzZ. We are here on PAG. Let's introduce our players, and then we'll talk about the matchup. Max is in the Giga Pocket for Suomi, playing as the Hindustanis. Pocket is Rubenstock with the Dravidians. Interesting. And then Valessa is at the front with the Britons. They are up against Wide, playing as the Ethiopians up front. Vinch has the Pocket with the Lithuanians, and then Classic Pro has the Koreans in the Giga Pocket. All right, so PAG, it's a straight shot down the middle, but most of the wood, which will run out, there's a fair bit of wood here in the middle, but wood does run out first, so a lot of wood is over here on the right-hand side. Players can transport or walk at the boundary. There's also some stone out here. And then on the left-hand side, there's gold, stone, and the relics. So water is rather important here, especially as the game goes on. If you have full water control, one team, you can fully deny your opponent off of either wood or ores, basically. So that's why we see Dravidians and Koreans here. I'll be interested to see if Vinch gets involved on water at all with the Lithuanians. You could go one player one side, one the other, as opposed to Rubenstock's probably just selling out for full water on both sides. But we'll see. Max is probably just going to boom up with the Hindustanis. Hindustanis have been very, very strong in this tournament. If they can get really boomed up into their ideal compositions, it's very, very tough for the Hindustanis to be stopped. But we shall see. First thing you need to worry about is how these guys at the front are going to approach this game. You're quite close to one another, so you can wall up and try to just hold. You can go forward with some sort of push, towers and whatnot. Yep, there's some options. There's some options. For now, Rubenstock's already got the first dock up over here, as does Max. They're going to be adding in fishing ships. And it's going to be Classic Pro and Finchester adding in fish for SalzZ on the right-hand side. So, maybe important to note, they've picked opposite sides of the water to get started on. Should at least provide some opening security for the players, but I have to imagine Rubenstock is going to get involved on the right-hand side pretty early on. Kind of weird, too. You would think the player with the Lithuanians on their team would want control over the side of the water that has the relics, right? If Suomi gets full control over the left-hand side and Vinch is just full denied off of all the relics, that's kind of a big deal for the Lithuanians. So I guess the first dock does not necessarily betray where you're going to put most of your navy. Barracks at the front for Valessa. Probably signals here to Wide that there's going to be some feudal age shenanigans. Everybody's up to the feudal age right now. Classic Pro is a little bit late, but there we go. Got a lot of scouts in here. It's Valessa and Rubenstock scouts up against Classic Pro and Wides. Oh, sorry, Vinch is in here too. Wait, who's not here? No, that's not Vinch. Oh boy, the colors. This color is going to kill me. You have to. You can't just choose your colors willy-nilly. It impacts where you are on the map. So Vinchester is actually yellow here. Okay, I gotta get that focus in my mind. Vinch is yellow, Classic Pro's purple. Those are opposite colors of how they usually are. Feudal Age for Valessa. Max is also here with a scout now. Feudal Age for Wide. Going to be double archery range, probably for both of these players at the front. It is indeed. And the only issue or potential issue here for Suomi is that the pocket of Valessa's Rubenstock. Oh, we're going forward stable for Max. Okay, I was going to say it might be awkward because Rubenstock's not really going to be able to help Valessa on land. He's going full water, right? So, whereas Vinchester is not going water heavily, so he can probably help out, but Max is just going to come forward. Long term, it makes sense to have the Dravidians here instead of flip-flopping him and Max, because Dravidians do not have a ton of mobility compared to the Hindustanis, so it's nice to have them a little bit closer as the game goes on. It's just a little awkward right now, that's all. Alright, Navy's coming out for both teams, but they're on the opposite side of where the fishing ships are. But the fact that we don't have any docks on the opposite side for either team does mean it's going to be a little bit tricky to actually get onto water on the opposite side. And as much as I said it would suck to not have relics with the Lithuanians, this is the more important side long term. Like I said, wood runs out faster than anything else. Bless is going to lose a Vil here. He also is not able to get the walls up. And Wide's coming in with a lot of archers. Max is here with some scouts to help out. Good damage on Vinchester's scouts here. Really good damage. Bless is going to get the wall up. Transport ship all ready for Rubenstock over here. Interesting. Very interesting. That's very early for a transport ship to come out here. Okay. Classic Pro was trying to get onto water on the left-hand side, but like I said, it's a little tricky if your opponent already has Navy out here, so that dock is denied. Classic Pro is going to try and rush it down with 3 villagers. Should be able to complete the dock here, especially if Rubenstock's not paying attention, which he does not appear to be. The dock does go up. Classic Pro's housed. Okay, he's going to get the first fire galley out. Oh, where? Okay, Rubenstock's not coming out here. That's why it was such an early transport ship. He's going forward for a dock inside the walls of Wide. Weird. Why has he done this? I don't know. Rubenstock is pinging the walls here. Vinchester is pinging the walls here. These fishing ships are not super efficient right now, it's got to be said, for SalzZ on the right-hand side. We're taking shorefish from a mile away, Classic Pro is. Castle Age is on the way for Classic Pro, Rubenstock, and Max. Where is Vinchester? Why is Vinchester so late? Clicking up. He's way behind Max. Neither player has really gone for any, I guess. Oh, he did go for some scouts. That's true. Okay, so that makes sense, I guess. And we're going for a counter transport here. Winchester's loading up his scouts. Wide also jumps in. Not with the archers, just a scout. I mean, it'd be good to find damage with this. You're over a minute behind max here to the castle age, so if you can't find damage with these scouts you made, it's kind of a waste to have made them at all. Okay, 3 scouts are out though for Vinch. We'll see if he can find some damage here. Depends on where he wants to hit. Might hit a Rubenstock in the middle. TC back here for Classic Pro. Rubenstock goes for a double TC. Scouts do arrive though. Oh god. Rubenstock loses a villager. It's only 1. Max shows up with a scout to help. Won't win that fight, but will damage the scouts enough to... Almost wins the fight. He's got full upgrades on these scouts. Winchester has nothing. So that scout almost 1v2'd there. Or 1v3'd actually, it started out as. And Max has also shown up on Winchester's eco. Again, Max has full upgrades on these scouts. They do some pretty good work there on Vinch's wood line. Valessa's on the way to Castle Age, so is Wide. As Rubenstock continues to set up infrastructure over here on the left. Max goes triple TC. Takes out the remaining scouts. This TC is a little weird, considering SalzZ has full control over the water on this side. But okay. Double TC for Vinch. Okay. Rubenstock has punched through the wall of Wide over on the left-hand side with his navy. Oh god. Wide is so nervous with this army. Less on the front line. Yeah, it's kind of funny, right? Max being in the big pocket makes sense, but I don't think... Usually it's Rubenstock in the frontline position, right? Alright, Castle Age is in for everybody. Lessa gets Bodkin crossbow. Also immediately gets the +1 range with the Britons, so his archers have the range advantage but not the firing speed advantage over the Ethiopian archers here. Wide hits Castle Age. No eco though. What happened to Wide? Why is Wide so dead? He can't afford anything. He gets crossbow. He can't even afford Bodkin. Valessa, do we have a university yet? Not quite yet. But he's coming in. Knock, knock. Valessa's in. We don't have Bodkin, so we're at a 2-range disadvantage right now over Valessa's army. He's going to lame some farms as well. Wide cannot afford this. Wide cannot afford to lose farms. He's got this one villager is his entire food economy right now. He has to lay down more farms. Still cannot afford Bodkin, by the way. Coinage for Classic Pro already. So they're setting up for the trade. Rubenstock's fishing ships are still putting in good work. These are Dravidian fishing ships as well, so they can hold twice as much food. Surprised Rubenstock did not build a monastery over here. Feels like it's worth it, right? Just get 1 monk out, collect all the relics. Alright, ballistics on the way for Wide. That is something Valessa does not have. Bodkin is finally afforded as well for wide as he's being slung now. Classic Pro is slinging wide everything. Wood, food, gold, and stone to try and get him online a little bit. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know why his eco is in such shambles. Feels like he played himself a little bit. Was so nervous about Valessa pushing him for damage that he kind of just nuked his own eco. This Britain range is kind of a problem. So much can get ranged by the Britain crossbows at the front. Ballistics is on the way for Valessa, but it's not in yet. He's doing a great job of using his range here, though. But in a straight-up fight, Ethiopians do still win this with their better firing speed. Classic Pro is super slinging wide. Holy, is he slinging wide. Ooh, and Rubenstock has shown up with Navy on the right. This is huge. This is actually giant. Fire ships all over the docks from Classic Pro. He's even walling them out from the right-hand side. This is so good. This is actually so good for Suomi. Really, really good. Rubenstock has such a fishing eco going on the left-hand side and now completely denies everything from SalzZ on the right. Fish traps going down, fishing ships going down, and if you can't get over here to get wood, it's a huge issue for you as the game goes on. Classic Pro's now continuing to sling wide. Remind me to look at how much res wide received at the end of this game, because holy. Imp is on the way for Winchester. That will be good. Rubenstock also clicks up to Imp. Max is right there as well, but does not have any of the buildings he needs, which is a little unfortunate. Okay, he gets a university and he's going to go Siege Workshop. Monks come out here from Classic Pro to scare away the Navy a bit, at least, as Max is going to get a TC up on the right-hand side. Monastery now for Rubenstock, so we can start collecting all the relics on the left. Valessa continues to take fights at the front against wide. It's so awkward when the Britons are behind walls, though. And I don't know if Winchester's knights are going to put in a ton of work here either. But he will be an imp, so these will be Cavalier eventually. It's not a super strong eco from Vinch. So it's going to be a little bit rough in the Imperial Age transition here, but he does afford Cavalier. We're pushing through the walls. Gotta be... It's a great position for Suomi. You just gotta make sure Valessa doesn't die to this 2v1 before Max can get online. Classic Pro's having a bit of a rough time against Rubenstock in the back, though. This TC's being ranged. We can't take any of this wood. We're trying to fight back on water on the right-hand side, but Rubenstock has a lot out here. And Classic Pro is not close to Imp at all, and Vinch is in Imp now. So I don't think the water is going to go very well for Classic Pro shortly here. Galleon, interesting. Instead of fast fire, I guess it makes sense. We've got a lot of galleys on the left-hand side that can put in extra work. Rubenstock is slinging Valessa now to try and help him out at the front. We gotta make sure Valessa doesn't die, though. This army's coming in real quick. Valessa's panic walling. He's gonna get some stone walls up. This is good, but he's losing ground. He's losing access to stone and gold. Classic Pro is now slinging Winchester to try and allow him to produce. Paladin on the way for Vinch. This is the Imp TC too. Ethiopian Arbalests can rip through TCs pretty quick. Okay, he moves away from it. Ooh, that could have been really bad. Heavy Camel Rider coming in Grand Trunk Road. The armor for Max. So Max is about ready to go. Just trying to get his production online. Cavalier is inside Valesa's base, though. This TC is getting obliterated by the Arbalests. Thank God they didn't come over here, or else Valesa would really be in trouble. But he is kind of really in trouble. He's only got 45 Vils, which is not too far behind Wide. But feels like he's going to lose a lot more in the next couple minutes here. Rubenstock goes for a castle to try and lock down this side. Valesa still has to wait another 40 seconds before he can retake the range advantage versus Wide. Worth noting, tax is quite high in this tournament. So all this slinging that Classic Pro is doing is not efficient at all. But we're all the way back into Rubenstock's base now. Max drops a castle forward. Suomi is taking forever to respond. It does feel like Max is taking his sweet old time to get his camels to the front here. Valesa did a great job of keeping his army alive, though. He still has 46 crossbows on the field. That's so good. Also, where is this Treb going, Vinch? It dies. Rubenstock's losing a lot, though. He's getting his trade set up. Max is trying to wait for Imp Camel to come in before he takes a fight. Okay, Bracer is in for Valesa. Still no Arbalest. Chemistry on the way. He's losing a lot of army to the Paladin now. And the army marches on. Max kind of has to take a fight. He's got 42 camels. They're about to be fully upgraded. He has 20 more seconds. This is a lot of Ethiopian Arbalest, though. Even Imp Camels are going to struggle against this, I feel like. Valesa lost a lot. Still has a decent army, but we're not fighting together. Imp Camel will do very well against the Lithuanian Paladin. Good surround on the Arbalest. Is it enough? Maybe. Wide does not have a great eco behind this, so losing this army is much worse for him than it is for Max. We're deleting everything here, Max is, just to try and get a good engagement around these Arbalests. They will end up being full cleared, but there is more behind. Valesa has to pull away from this position. Where is Valesa's eco even? He's trying to reboom over on the right-hand side now. The big perk for Suomi is they still have full control over both left and right sides. So long-term, they're still in a good position, but they're getting pushed real hard here. Wide might have to get out of dodge. There's a lot of Arbalests still stuck behind enemy lines. Valesa still has 44 Arbalests. Trade is getting set up here. Finally, Classic Pro is going to be hitting the Imperial Age. This is not a good fight, though, for Vinchester to be trying to take. Like I said, no relics here for Vinch, right? So these are just your run-of-the-mill Paladin without even the last attack upgrade. They actually are not very... They're not amazing Paladin without any relics. Wide loses a lot of military. It's only 50... Oh boy, but Valesa is so dead. Valesa is super dead, though. At least he's rebooming, but it's gonna be rough. Max slings 1,000 gold over to Valesa to hopefully keep his production going. Rubenstock still trying to focus on water. He's getting shipwright. He still has full control over both sides, and you can deny a ton of resources via the water, right? Look at all of this stuff that Classic Pro can't take back here. I think Suomi is still in a really good spot. Max is full spamming Imp Camels. We're full slinging Rubenstock here while he tries to get his eco back under control. Paladin versus Camel is not good. It is super not good for the Paladin. Winchester is just getting slaughtered by these camels, man. I think Suomi is fine. I think they held long enough. There's no military. GG comes in. Wide ran out of units and had no eco behind. Winchester just could not deal with these camels. And Classic Pro never had a land military to speak of. He was full sling mode. Suomi takes it 3-2. I mean, I said at the beginning, the winner of that 1v1 set might be important. It turned out to be very important. Crazy. That was too messy for no reason. Well, it was for a reason, right? Max, if Max dives in there with his camels before Imp comes in, there is a world in which he loses all of his camels to those Ethiopian Arbs, right? Like, he lost quite a few, even with the Imperial Camel upgrade. So if he dives too fast, he could lose everything, and suddenly there's still an army in their base. But it was very risky. It was very risky to wait all that time because Valessa got full cleared. So if Max was unable to turn the tides like he was, suddenly things look really tough. But the patience pays off. I guess they realized there was no answer to the camels, really, once you got into them fully. Wide's Arbs did okay, but Wide does not have the economy to continuously make them. So even if Max is taking bad trades with the camels, he can still just produce forever. Like, look at this. Look at Max's res. Very entertaining. That was a really good game. Good series. The entire series was crazy. Sling. Valessa. Okay, Valessa actually received more sling than Wide. I will say Max shunted like 1,000 gold and maybe 500 wood at him right at the very end. But all right. And economy, I mean, look at the economy difference. Max and Rubenstock were both over 10,000 res collected ahead of the next closest player. So that's crazy. This is what happens, right? If you let Max boom, this is what happens. This is what happens when you let Max super boom.